Hey everyone, this is Craig Lewin with Endurance Swimming Open Water Training. We are an adult open water training group for triathletes and open water swimmers, bringing you all of the health and mental wellness benefits that the ocean has to offer. Now get those ear holes ready for some mind-blowing mental health stories because you are listening to 20TIMinutes.
What is up, party people? This is where the party at. 20TIMinutes, episode 13. I love the number 13. I actually love the number 31, which is backwards, which is kind of like my life. It's kind of like the whole bipolar thing. 13, 31. I don't know. Which one do I like more? It's 31. That introduction was done by my good friend, Craig Lewin of Endurance Swimming, just like he said. Met him through jiu-jitsu. Did you guys know I do jiu-jitsu? I talk about it every week. That's going to be on the pop quiz. So keep an ear out and an eye out. Let me give you a brief synopsis on Craig's swimming career, all right? Like I've said before, I don't know how to swim. So of course I make friendships with a guy who's like a D1 swimming and diving team for BC. Kid's got credentials. He's like shorter than I am. I thought like most swimmers had to be like super tall and lanky. This kid just rifles through the water. Love him. So he like doesn't just swim. He does like long distance swimming, endurance swimming. Look it up. That's their name. Instagram as well. I had to write this down because I don't remember anything. So he's competed and completed his triple crown of open water swimming. He did the 20-mile Catalina Channel in 2018. Then he did the 28.5 20 bridges swim. I think that's New York. I don't know. I should look this up. That's why I don't know how friends are friends with me, because I don't know things. And then he did the 21-mile cold water English Channel. Like, bruh, that is a lot of swimming, and that is very far. Kid is an absolute beast. He did like an Ironman, 70.3 World Championship in 08 of the swims. Kid's unreal. So like I asked him, I'm like, when you swim like that long, what do you eat? He's like, oh, they just huck munchkins at you. So he's just like wading in the water and he's like hungry. They like feed him like a circus seal and he's just floating around. It's funny to me. Like, I don't know how to swim. Like, I've been in the water. I just don't get the mechanics of it all. And this dude just teaches like athletes, like freak athletes. And I'm like, hey man, you want to like roll around in pajamas with me? He's like, yeah, let's do it. Me and him, we had like a good dynamic at jiu-jitsu because he was just a little bit better than me, like actually everyone else in jiu-jitsu. But yeah, we made a really good friendship, me and him, and I'm really glad. And thank you, Craig, for doing that introduction. Sorry if I butchered anything about your stats. Catalina Channel, 20 bridges, English Channel, Triple Crown winner pretty much. He's my winner, and he's your winner. So I was talking to him about like swimming and the benefits it is for mental health, which is new to me. And now it makes sense after reading a little bit because I don't know how to swim and I'm a low-key, crazy, functioning psychopath. So I should have learned how to swim. So here's some other facts that I read about. He sent me a bunch of articles and I told him, I was like, hey man, I don't really read. So can you give me like a brief synopsis? Because that would really help. So, excuse me, cold water swimming might improve. Like, again, this isn't like scientific facts. They're still doing trial and errors with everything. Like everything that you hear me say, don't take literally, especially when I don't know how to read or paraphrase to you. So be careful with this. I'm going to be very careful if I ever try to swim again. So with that said, here's some stuff. So it might improve mental health and the effect on stress responses. In brief, like learning to cope with extreme cold temperatures is like the same fast track improvement with the ability to cope with your own life stresses. So it's like when you're in the water and you get that brief shock and you do like the bottom lip in the back of your throat and you're like, which I hate. I don't like being cold. So this is even tough as it is. But a therapist says in good mental health is built on the ability to cope with everyday stresses. So if your body can handle cold temperatures and you can try to relax, I can see that making a lot of sense. Someone take me to a water park and I'm still stressed out. Me and Lindsay went to Six Flags one time and there was like this death ride where you like stood in a pod and the floor dropped out of you. And I was like, Lindsay, you should cover your nose. She's like, I know how to swim. Then all of a sudden I couldn't breathe. Then I woke up and like I got out of the water like I was Wolverine. That was awful. awful. And I did the whole thing the way down. I was like, I can't handle that. I'm always stressed out. And someone like Craig, who does that no problem, kids swimming like from the Pacific to the Atlantic all the way around like it ain't no thing. And I can barely take a shower when it's hot out. And I'm taking a cold shower. I was like, I can't even do that. Like even turning down the water cold when you're taking a shower for 30 seconds and like washing your face, soaking your feet, anything in cold water have shown to be beneficial for stress management. And it makes so much sense because I can't even do that. Even a cold shower I can't do. What else? There was another thing too. It was like a 24-year-old woman with symptoms of major depression and anxiety for a condition she had since she was like 17. They did open water swimming that was trialed and see how that would work. And it led to immediate improvement in mood following each swim and sustained and gradually reduction in symptoms of depression. And consequently, hey, that's the word of the week that I can't pronounce. In a reduction in and then of medication. So she kind of dumbed down her medication. And since a year after that, she remains medication free. So that was like a story. Again, none of this is like scientifically proven. Like some doctor can't be like, you know what, go for a swim and everything will be cured. Because if they told me that, I'd be dead. Like I said on a previous episode, I pretty much drowned as a kid and they brought me back to life. I don't know how. But yeah, I should probably learn how to swim. I always said that the way I die will probably be me and Lindsay on like a cruise and then it'll just go down and I'm like, you know what? This is it. Just take me out. I don't want to drown. I don't like water at all. On my honeymoon, we went to Antigua and I didn't want to hold my wife back with the whole swimming thing. We went on like a catamaran and they had like a net floor at one point on it and I could like barely like step on it. Like I was freaking out so bad. So with that you snorkeled, right? You had to snorkel and they like had to like, you had to like swim to the beach. So I was like, you know what? I'm bringing my own life jacket and I'm going to try to do this with you, okay? They give you life jackets. I'm glad I brought my own because the ones they gave you looked like they were fucking like Tonka truck-esque, like bootleg. They just didn't look like they were floating on their own. So I'm glad I brought mine. So I get in the water and I'm like a little bit inebriated. So I kind of like calm my nerves down. Water was freezing, so I was in a good mood. Wait a minute, Craig. Endurance swimming? I'm about that life now. Well, just for that little moment. So we're in the water, right? I got my snorkel gear on. I don't know how to snorkel. I don't even know how to swim. I get this life jacket on where like I'm just wading in the water and like inadvertently doing like a 360 around because I don't know how to control my body in water. So I'm trying to fucking swim, right? And I know the mechanics in my head, but my body doesn't. So I'm trying to do it and I'm going so slow and the goggles like on. So I'm getting like all water in my face and like everything was so sandy. So I didn't get to see anything out of the water. Then I look up, everyone's like 40 yards in front of me, especially Lindsay. Like Lindsay left me for dead. And the tour guide was behind me, didn't have a life jacket on. I think this guy was on the Olympic Antigua team because this guy was a freak. So everyone's already on the beach. I'm still like 40 yards deep with this guy. And he's like, you need help? I'm like, dude, I need more than help right now. So he tells me to grab onto his dinghy. Is that what it's called? Because that sounds weird, but I did. I grabbed onto his dinghy or his buoy or bowie. What the fuck am I talking about? And he's like, hold on to this. So I hold on to it like on my back and I'm just swimming. I'm like on my back while he's swimming and he's pulling me to shore. And at one point he turns to me, he's like, hey man, can you just kick your feet? Like I was literally just dead weight for this guy. So I'm kicking my feet. Everyone's already wasted on the beach. So I'm like ripping seaweed off myself to get on the beach being like, couldn't even breathe. I was all messed up. Lindsay was like, you all right? I'm like, no, you left me for dead. But I was very happy because one, it was my honeymoon, and two, I was in freezing cold water about to die. And I was having a blast. But thank you, Craig, again. Sorry if I butchered anything. Again, I don't know why you're friends with me. Follow him on Endurance Swimming on Instagram. Go to his website, enduranceSwimming.com. He registered a definition. Like endurance swimming, he looked that up. It's like, oh, you swim for endurance at long periods of times. He owns that. That's sick. endurance swimming Craig Lewin. Tell him I sent you, and he'll probably say sorry because I don't know why I did that for Tim. But thank you again, sir. Appreciate you. Salute. So with me lately, I've been doing better than the last episode. Holler at your boy. I've been listening to music more to calm me down, and I've gotten into classical music again. And I'm not like one of those like, oh, I listen to classical music. I'm not like one of those dickheads at like art museums where they're like, yes, this is a fancy thing. And I don't get that. People that get into art, they're lying to themselves and they're lying to everybody else. All right? Just because I don't even know how you understand like that you know art more than other people. You're looking at the same things. You have different eyeballs than me. Like just a bunch of paint together. They're like, oh, it's beautiful. Oh, a bunch of cans of soup. Oh, it's genius. Oh, a banana stuck to the wall. Like, get the fuck out of it. So stupid. But I love classical music because I think I've mentioned this before. There's a playlist I follow. It's called Badass Classical Music, and it's some like movie type shit. Like you'd be folding laundry and you just feel like you're in a movie getting ready to like John Wick somebody or some shit. I don't know. But then I was thinking, I was like, and I know people have this thought before, but what the hell did they call classical music when it was out? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it just like, hey, we're going to go listen to Beethoven's music? Like, what? And that was another thing, too. It's like, so, like, they came out with these songs, and you go and see them on, like, a Friday back in the day, and that was it. Like, oh, how do I hear your song again? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I'm playing it, like, next century. But then I think about, like, you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Like, how did they record that from back in the day? Is it a different artist now that regenerated that song? Like, if you wanted to see Mozart or buy an album, you couldn't. You just have to, like, show up. Right? I don't know, dude. I'm probably way off with that. God damn it, I'm not smart. And it's cool. It's cool. It's all right. It's like I have these dumb thoughts and I'm too afraid to ask them. So if I ask them on camera, no one can really make fun of me, but they can give me, like, a real answer on the side. Like, when did time start? Like, obviously, like, whatever. Like, what BC, AD, I don't know what that means either. But, like, time started. Sundials, whatever. But, like, how did they incorporate the numbers into starting? Like, when did they start using time? Okay? Stay with me. So, say they're like, all right, at noon, we'll start the clock, okay? On 3, 2, and then one guy's like, hold up. What the fuck is 3? Like, they don't even know the numbers yet, right? So how did time start? I should have paid attention in school, but I didn't. I'm definitely losing my mind, all right? This podcast makes me lose my mind. Because, one, I'm trying to function as a normal human, and I can't. Anyway, but those are the type of thoughts I had, and I'm just losing my goddamn mind. It's crazy. So, lately, I've been losing a lot of things, and I mentioned this on my Instagram story. So I had to buy a new wallet because I looked up like different ideas from people with ADHD, like what they do to cope. And one was like, oh, I brought a bright ass wallet. So I got a wallet that's like bright orange, and I was going to show you guys on the camera, but I forgot to bring it up, and I actually don't know where it is right now. It's either in my jeans from yesterday or my car, and hopefully it's in my car. Another thing too, because I forget everything, get this. I don't think I've told like 6 people this story because it's super embarrassing. So here's an exclusive Tim's Dumb Stories. I got home from work one day working a double. So if I work a double, I'm fried. I'm going to bed. So I parked the car, and Lindsay was leaving in the morning. I was like, oh, I got out of the car, gave her a big hug, big kiss, got my stuff, went in the house, whatever. So sat around, played with the dogs, played video games, went to bed, okay? Woke up 8 hours later. So it was probably like almost like 10 hours. I go outside to get the mail. I look over. I'm like, why is my car running? I left my fucking car running for 10 hours. That was like me driving down to North Carolina, which I've done. I let my car run for 10 hours unattended. Who does that? I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, and it doesn't add any miles, but I had a full tank, and it was like almost gone by the time I got to it. Like, thank Christ I live in a decent neighborhood, because my car could have been taken, my orange wallet would have been gone, I would have been a wreck. I was one of those things, I just laughed at myself, but I was like wicked upset with myself. I was like, oh my God. So be careful with your car if you got ADHD because you might let it run for 10 hours straight. It was really hot though when I got in the car to leave because it was nice and toasty. So silver lining, playbook, De Niro. So get this, right? Again, king of the clapbacks. I don't like people pushing me around ever. Again, just because a guy does a mental health podcast doesn't mean he can't start some shit. Here we go. I saw a tweet from another tweet that I follow on Twitter, and both of them were talking about everyone has mental health, but not everyone has mental illness, which I 100% agree with, okay? I am with that. I replied back my 2 cents because, hey, I'm into mental health. I'm going to give you my 2 cents because I run this podcast and I shamelessly need people to follow me and listen. So I was like, I don't even like the word illness. I honestly don't because it makes you feel like, not weak, but it has that condensation. It has that connotation of like almost a negative to me. So I'm like, you know what? I was like, I don't use the word illness because you can overcome an illness. Like you can do that sometimes. And I was like, plus, I was like, this shit is never going away, meaning like what I deal with. And the girl replied back, she's like, I know what you mean, like laughing face, like, ha ha ha. So then a random person replied back to me and said, well, I have a chronic illness that will never go away. And some people need to know the difference between curing an illness and like dealing. I don't know. I should probably pay attention. But they were pretty much like, hey, you're a dickhead for saying this in the nicest way possible. But I go, well, I didn't say like all illnesses are curable. I just said it can be curable, which some can. Fair enough. And I said, I'm not diminishing you for what I call it because it makes me feel better. That I don't call it an illness. I call it a mental health issue. I was like, I have a mental health issue, which I do. And it was like, wow, I don't know why they're getting so bent out of shape about that. Like maybe disorder should be a word that I use, but in this day and age, you can use one word wrong and people are like, you piece of shit. So I was like, all right. So I replied back to her. I was like, pretty much like, sorry. I was like, I'm still learning. I'm not a professional. So this random over-the-top girl quote tweets me and goes, you sound ridiculously uneducated. I was like, hold up. You must not listen to the podcast because, yeah, I agree. But second of all, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Steve Janowski. So I was heated because I went to her account first off. She's a Stan account for like the woman from like the Law and Order. Like she just posts photos of that woman. Like she has a photo with like Dustin Diamond. She was like, oh, I'll miss you. It's like, all right, you're obsessed with celebrities and all you do is retweet people. Okay? So I was going to go in on her with that, but I didn't. I don't want to personally attack somebody. So I go, okay, make sense of that. Like, why am I not educated? Because I call something different that makes me feel better about saying that. And then that was it. But then my crazy mind was like, you know what? Add some more. So I went on her more. And I go, oh, you're all about labels more than helping people, huh? I was like, I'm trying to do a podcast where I've helped people that reached out. And I'm also selling t-shirts that I'll get to in a second. That a portion of the proceeds is going to go to suicide prevention. So and then I go, so go fuck yourself. She never replied back. She kept on tweeting after that, never mentioned me. Because she didn't want the 20TIMinutes Twitter beef, all right? That made me so mad. I'm sorry that I call it something different to cope with, that I don't say that other people, and I wasn't diminishing any other person, disabled, whatever. I just don't like it to be called an illness. Like, I'm sick, yeah, but why do I have to keep saying that? Like, I have an issue that I'm trying to manage. That's why I can't fight with people on the internet. I can't do it. They drive me bananas. I love how these episodes, because we're hitting the 20-minute mark, so I will end quickly. I'm not going to plug my social media anymore. It's pretty obvious. I'm going to keep it in the comments from now on so you can find it that way. Like I said, I am releasing t-shirts. They are in pre-order right now. I'm going to open them up for the next week. So please pre-order those now because once I make them, they're done. These are going to be a one-time design, limited edition 20-minute shirt. So you can buy it and be like, I listened to Tim's old shit when he was good. Okay? I just want to do that because I want people to buy it. Then I got a couple of other ideas for new shirts coming out. So any social media or any way that you contact me, if you can't find the link, let me know. I'll give it to you. Movie suggestion isn't a movie suggestion this week. It is a TV show, Freaks and Geeks. If you've never seen it, it was a 1-season deal. It has the likes of James Franco, Seth Rogen, Buzzy Phillips. I don't know how to say her name, but we know who I'm talking about, right? And then what's her name? Like Martin Starr's in it. Great show. All right. It's one of those one-off seasons. Very sad to see it go. And then another song. I'm pretty much going to give you songs of like how I got through my depression. Is Authority Zero, When We Ruled the World. That song slaps, as the kids would say. So again, t-shirts are pre-sale right now. A portion of those proceeds are going to the Plymouth Suicide Prevention Coalition. I got it right this time. So you'll be helping out a good cause. You'll be getting a t-shirt with my dumb cartoon face on it. Like, what else do you need in life? Okay? You need a 20TIMinutes shirt. Tell your friends. Buy one for their birthday. So when you give it to them, like, who the hell is this? And be like, I don't know, some crazy person that doesn't know how to swim or speak proper English. So that is the end of episode 13. 20 minutes is up. Oh, know what I need? Can someone think of like a sign off I should have? Like, I've been doing the where the potty at the beginning, and some people seem to like it because they see me and they're like, hey, where the potty at? And I'm like, yo. And then I realize I'm just talking to my mirror. So I need something. Someone help me with a good sign off, because I think I'm going to do this one right now. Okay, ready? Let me think about it. Let me think about it off the top of the dome. Don't think. All right, guys. Episode 13 is done. Time's up. No? Shit. All right. Either way, I love you guys. Thanks again for checking out episode 13 of 20TIMinutes. Go do something positive, motivating, motivate somebody else. I'm having a tough time motivating myself. So we need to motivate each other, get people riled up, pumped up, jacked up, whatever phrase you like to use, because we're going to get it. All right? I love you guys again. Go have yourself a good one. Okay? Time's up.
This podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. If you are feeling suicidal, please dial 911.